who are today's best players in the NL. As of August 8th, 2023, there's been a bunch of movement in the league. Teams vying for a chance at the World Series put together trade packages to support that notion, and the dust has only just begun to settle. Others sent talent packing with the hopes of finding youngsters that are beginning to blossom as athletes and drafting them before their competitors can. The NL is adjusting to not having the pitcher in the lineup nicely, giving solid bats a place to stay, but also allowing the pitching staff to focus on what they do best. Here are the National League's best players on each team. Let's start on the NL West. The Dodgers. When it comes to the Dodgers, there's almost always going to be a stack of talented ball players. Looking at the pitching staff, Clayton Kershaw tops the starting rotations with 10 wins out of 16 starts, 11 of which resulted in a quality start. The bullpen has 3 quality pitchers holding it down, but we've got to talk about the position players. That debate ends up coming down to utility superstar Mookie Betts and first baseman Freddie Freeman. Each has recorded over 110 hits, with Freddie leading by over 34, and also leading with a .341 batting average, 14 stolen bases, and 67 RBI. Yet Betts leads the team in home runs and can fill in at the shortstop position. The final decision-making stat, fielding percentage, is perfect for Freeman, but Mookie Betts is really close behind him with a .988. It's a close call, but we have to tip our hats to first baseman, number 5, Freddie Freeman. The Giants. This team is built on defense. The offensive numbers are not all that impressive, but it does help when the entire defense has an over .900 fielding percentage. Third baseman J.D. Davis leads in hits with 88, 8 more than first baseman Lamont Wade Jr., but their doubles and home runs are about even. First baseman Wilmer Flores does sport a .305 batting average, but splits time at the corner spot. The pitching, on the other hand, is solid. Starting pitcher Logan Webb has performed well, generating 17 quality starts, 9 of which resulted in wins, and he struck out 145 batters, getting an average of 8.8 strikeouts per game, resulting in a respectable .345 ERA. But the best player might surprise you. Sitting at the back end of the pitching staff is a man striking out 12 batters per 9 innings pitched. In 51 innings of play, he saved 33 games, struck out 68 batters, and holds a strong .247 ERA. We're talking about number 75, Camilo Doval. The Diamondbacks. This team has the NL All-Star starting pitcher, Zach Gallen, who's won 11 games and struck out over 145 batters, carrying a solid .341 ERA. Digging a bit deeper, you can see that this is a solid team with good defensive prowess and some guys that can hit. For instance, second baseman Ketel Marte, left fielder Corbin Carroll, and first baseman Christian Walker all have over 100 hits and over 20 doubles and over 15 homers apiece, making him stand out from the rest. Carroll has also swiped 34 bases, 11 more than the teammate with the second most, right fielder Jake McCarthy. Plus, his fielding percentage is over .990, making number 7, left fielder Corbin Carroll the best player right now on the Diamondbacks team. The Padres. This San Diego squad is stacked, featuring some of the best talent in the MLB, including left fielder Juan Soto, third baseman Manny Machado, and right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. Yet it's Soto who's tied for the lead in hits, with shortstop Xander Bogaerts at 104, while also having 23 home runs, 3 more than Machado, and 70 RBIs, 8 more than Machado. The pitching staff is also loaded. Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, and Joe Musgrove could all be considered aces if they were on other squads. But when it comes to the best player on this team, we have to look in the bullpen, where we'll find Josh Hader, sporting a 13.7 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched, a dominant 89 ERA, and 26 saves this season. It could be argued that number 71, Josh Hader, is the best closer in the game, so he's easily the best player on the Padres roster. The Rockies. The Mile High squad went into the trade deadline season looking to sell, knowing that teams would be interested in the talented veteran players they'd accumulated over the past few seasons. They sent first baseman C.J. Cron and outfielder Randall Grichuk to the West Coast, while sending right-handed pitcher Brad Hand out east. This leaves us a few interesting players to look at. Their shortstop Ezequiel Tovar, who's got an over .985 fielding percentage and has come on with some clutch hitting lately, including slugging a few over the fence. Right fielder Chris Bryant and left fielder Jurickson Profar are solid veterans. But if we have to choose the best player, then we only need to look behind the plate. With a lackluster pitching staff, soon to be filled up with young prospects, Elias Diaz, who won the MVP award for the All-Star Game, has been a stabilizing force on both offense and defense. He leads the team in batting average with a .275, has 90 hits, in which 20 went for doubles, and also has a .990 fielding percentage. Currently, the best Rockies player would be number 35, Elias Diaz. Now we'll move on to the NL Central, the Reds. The team from Cincinnati has a bunch of young talent. Third baseman Elly De La Cruz is an exciting player who's brought life to the lineup, sparking a charge to the top of the division. First baseman Spencer Steer has over 100 hits and also leads the team with 17 round trips, but trails behind right fielder Jake Fraley by 1 in RBIs. Defensively, the team is pretty solid because all starting personnel maintain an over .990 fielding percentage, and none have more than 10 errors this season. But the pitching is where you'll find the best current player. Starting pitcher Graham Ashcraft was slated to be the ace, converting 20 starts into 6 wins, 10 quality starts, and having over 75 strikeouts, but also allowing over 62 earned runs over 105 innings pitched. This spurred a young pitcher into action, and he's been tossing amazing balls almost every start. After 11 starts, Andrew Abbott has generated 8 quality starts, 6 of which resulted in a win, and has over 70 strikeouts, with a strong ERA of .235. As of right now, the best player for the Reds will be number 41, starting pitcher Andrew Abbott. The Brewers. The Brew Crew seems to always have a solid pitching staff, and this year is no exception, with ace starting pitcher Corbin Burnes generating 15 quality starts over 22 games started, winning 9, and carrying a respectable .344 ERA. Freddie Peralta has also been solid, starting 21 games, producing 11 quality starts, and winning 7 of those, but holds a mediocre .446 ERA. At the back end of the bullpen is Devin Williams, who shut the door on his opponents 27 times with a save, and also carries a 13.1 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched, with an amazing 1.52 ERA. How much value the player brings is also part of our decision-making process. And offensively, there's only one man to speak of, Christian Yelich. He's got over 115 hits, scored over 75 runs, over 25 doubles, 15 home runs, which is the second most on the team, only behind shortstop Willie Adams. He also leads the team with 62 RBIs. As backup, his glove has been nearly perfect, as his fielding percentage is over .994, making number 22, left fielder Christian Yelich, the best player currently on the Brewers team. The Cubs. The Northside Chi-Town squad has a few very talented players on their roster, with their pitching containing a pair of starters that have been holding the staff together. Starting pitcher Kyle Hendricks, in 13 starts, has earned a quality start in 8 of them, and Marcus Stroman has 15 quality starts in the 23 games he started in, 10 of which resulted in a win. He also has over 110 strikeouts, and his ERA of .385 isn't bad. Justin Steele has also pitched well. In 20 starts, he's gotten 14 quality starts and 12 wins. He also has 106 strikeouts and a team-leading .265 ERA. Then we go look at the batters, and second baseman Nico Hoerner is a surprise leader in many categories, including runs scored with 66, total hits at 119, and he also has 4 triples and 58 RBIs. Don't forget, this team includes Cody Bellinger, Ian Happ, and Dansby Swanson. But in an unexpected surprise, the hottest player currently on the Cubs roster is number 2, second baseman Nico Hoerner. The Pirates. The Pittsburgh team has what many consider to be a lackluster offense, especially without the dynamic shortstop, O'Neal Cruz. And after shipping out first baseman Carlos Santana, the team has begun to rebuild. Left fielder Bryan Reynolds leads the team in a few offensive categories, including runs scored with 59, 5 more than Andrew McCutchen, and hits with 96. But it'll be center fielder Jack Suwinski that leads in home runs with 21 and also touts a lofty 20 stolen bags. The bullpen also has a stud, right-handed pitcher David Bednar, who's had 3 wins and 22 saves on the year, with 56 strikeouts and 43 innings played, and a nice 1.24 ERA. Looking at defensive numbers, Bryan Reynolds has a .988 fielding percentage, but number 65, center fielder Jack Suwinski has been perfect in center field, and because of that, he can be given the captain's hat as the best player in the Pirates roster right now. The Cardinals. This has been an easy season to forget when it comes to the pitching staff and the adjustment period in a time post-Yadier Molina. The Cards sent starting pitcher Jordan Montgomery to the Rangers, Jack Flaherty to the Orioles, and shortstop Paul DeJong to the Bluebirds up north, along with right-handed pitcher Jordan Hicks. They left their superstars intact, the potential Hall of Fame corner infielders, third baseman Nolan Arenado, and first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Between these two is an average fielding percentage of over .988, along with the chemistry they have with each other on the diamond. Offensively, each has over 110 hits this season, in addition to over 20 doubles and over a .275 batting average. But aside from that, number 28, third baseman Nolan Arenado starts to separate himself, with a team-leading 22 home runs, 78 RBIs, and plays at third that leave the mind blown. And now we move to the NL East, the Braves. This is probably the hottest offensive team in the MLB right now, led by elite specialist right fielder Ronald Acuna Jr., who can boast about a .335 batting average, has scored over 95 runs, leads the team with 141 hits, 27 of which were doubles, and has snatched 51 bags. Not to be outdone is the man on first base, Matt Olson. Olson leads the team with 37 home runs and 91 RBIs in 400 at-bats. Yet, there's an ace on this team that's already eclipsed the 200 strikeout mark with an ERA of .361 in 22 games started, 13 of which were quality starts, and 12 resulted in a win. Yeah, we're talking about number 99, starting pitcher Spencer Strider, who's been making batters just look silly sometimes. The Phillies. The former NL champions have been above average, but not in true playoff form all season. Current designated hitter Bryce Harper has a .295 average in 286 at-bats, with 18 doubles and 84 hits total. Left fielder Kyle Schwarber has launched over 25 home runs and scored over 60 runs total, together with shortstop Trey Turner. Second baseman Bryson Stott leads the team in both batting average with a .301 and in hits with over 102. But it would be first baseman Alec Bohm that tops the list in RBIs, with 4 on Kyle Schwarber and 6 on Nick Castellanos. Even the pitching has a similar list of stats, making it difficult to select a single player from the Philly squad. Yet, the second man in the rotation has quietly been the best. He sports the same number of starts as ace starting pitcher Aaron Nola, and has generated 3 more quality starts than him with only 1 less win, but also allowed 14 less runs, 12 less home runs, and 8 less walks, while striking out 10 more batters. With a respectable .371 ERA, number 45, Zach Wheeler, is going to be the dark horse who's the best right now in the Phillies roster. The Marlins. Miami is one of those sneaky good teams this year. Solid pitching helps. Yet, when you look at the bullpen and the starting rotation, there's something left to be desired. Better results more likely. Offensively, it becomes clear almost immediately who the best player is. The number of hits and batting average jump out at you right away. For number 3, Second baseman Luis Arraez, who's hitting an amazing .377 with 153 hits over 406 plate appearances. With over 25 doubles and a wins above replacement of 4.4, he was the clear choice. The Mets. The Metropolitans were in total sell mode at the deadline, dealing off both ace starting pitchers, Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, to Texas-based teams, leaving the number 1 spot to Kodai Senga, who's had 20 starts and produced 8 quality starts, 7 of which were wins, along with striking out 136 total batters and earning a respectable .325 ERA along the way. Closing duties have been done by committee, leading us to the position players, where shortstop Francisco Lindor makes his name stand out, having scored 61 runs, stolen 17 bags, smashed 23 doubles, and having driven in 67 RBIs. Center fielder Brandon Nimmo leads the team with 102 hits. The Polar Bear, first baseman Pete Alonso, leads the team in home runs with 31 and RBIs with 77. It's a tough choice, but number 12, shortstop Francisco Lindor, will be the best player on the Mets right now. The Nationals. This is a rebuilt team, looking to get their young players some game-time experience on the field. The pitching staff has struggled as expected, but has a bright spot in right-handed pitcher Kyle Finnegan, who's been the primary closer for the team and has earned 5 wins, 15 saves, and 8 holds, all while carrying a .293 ERA in recent games. The Nationals sent third baseman Jeimer Candelario over to the Windy City, but not before he smashed a team-leading 30 doubles. But this left the door open for players like shortstop C.J. Abrams and right fielder Lane Thomas to shine. The utility outfielder has been hot at the plate, leading the team in runs scored, total hits, and home runs, with 70, 121, and 16 respectively. He also has the second most RBIs with 57, but as of late, he's cooled down a little at the plate. But even so, the best player currently is number 5, shortstop C.J. Abrams, who's become a terror on the base paths, taking 16 bases in less than 30 days and 7 in less than 15. All right, that's all we have for the best players in the NL on each team. Which do you agree or disagree with? Be sure to let us know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.